Hey everyone, let's get right into this explainer. If you've been glued to the 2026 World Cup like I have, you know that expanded group stage was literally a whirlwind of crazy math, wild scenarios, and some absolute stoppage time chaos. But guess what? The bracket is locked, the math homework is over, we have officially entered the high-stakes, do-or-die single-elimination knockout rounds. Today we're going to synthesize all those sprawling analytics, the staggering upsets, and the biggest storylines of the remaining field into one clear, structured view.
Okay, let's dive into this. On our roadmap today, we've got 1. The knockout chaos begins. 2. Data dictates the favorites. 3. A tale of two paths. 4. Dark horses and Cinderellas. And finally, 5. America's golden opportunity.
Let's kick things off with Section 1. The knockout chaos begins, because unpredictability is absolutely ruling right now.
I mean, with the expansion to a 32-team knockout bracket, the sheer chaos of this tournament has skyrocketed. We've already witnessed some massive upsets. Let's talk about Germany for a second. They walked into their round of 32 matchup as a gigantic -700 favorite, ranked 10th in the world, taking on 41st-ranked Paraguay. And get this, Germany had previously never lost a penalty shootout in World Cup history. Never! They were a flawless 4-0. But Paraguay dug in, held on to force penalty kicks, and somehow stunned the Germans 4-3. Just like that, a massive tournament heavyweight is sent packing. It just proves that in this knockout format, historical pedigree guarantees absolutely nothing.
And honestly, the chaos didn't stop there. Look at Morocco. They are rapidly turning into the team that nobody wants to play. They were staring down the barrel of elimination, down 1-0 late against the top 10 Netherlands squad, but then an unbelievable stoppage time header from Issa Diop forces extra time, and the Atlas Lions end up pulling out the win in a shootout. Because of that gritty resilience and their terrifying transition speed, Morocco's odds to win the whole tournament have absolutely surged, from plus 4,000 all the way to plus 1,900. They've shown they have a massive offensive ceiling, and trust me, nobody wants to see them on their side of the bracket.
Moving on to Section 2, data dictates the favorites. Let's let the objective numbers do the talking.
If we want to figure out who's actually going to lift that trophy, we kind of have to strip away all the emotion and look at the cold, hard stats. And this brilliantly illustrates what the models are seeing. The Opta supercomputer simulated the rest of the tournament 25,000 times based on team metrics, and 3 clear heavyweights emerged from the pack. France is sitting at the top with an 18.7% chance to win it all. Defending champion Argentina is right on their heels at 16.3%, and Spain rounds out that top tier at 13.5%. So according to the underlying data, this is your undisputed big three for the 2026 tournament.
To cross-reference that, we can also look at the prediction markets, specifically Polymarket's aggregated odds, which analyst Neil Payne has been tracking. And the betting markets are in heavy agreement with the data models. They also see France as the clear favorite at 28%, followed by Argentina at 19% and Spain at 11%. So the consensus across both the predictive algorithms and the financial markets is totally locked in on this specific trio. But as we all know, being a favorite on paper doesn't shield you from the brutal physical reality of a deep tournament run. Which brings us to a major yes but narrative for one of those heavyweights. Spain has been an absolute darling of the analytics community. I mean, they conceded just 0.5 total expected goals across 3 group matches. That is next-level defensive dominance. But their brutal 1-0 win over Uruguay came at a really massive cost. Winger Jeremy Pino suffered a suspected broken collarbone, Nico Williams injured his hamstring, and even teenage phenom Lamine Yamal has been battling fitness issues. So yeah, Spain's underlying metrics are elites, but their depth on the wing has been completely decimated, which seriously complicates their path forward.
Section 3, a tale of two paths, because survival is all about the draw.
Survival in a World Cup is honestly as much about attrition as it is about raw skill. A team's path through the bracket can completely alter their destiny. Let's compare our top 2 favorites. Because of how the group stage shook out, these 2 absolute juggernauts are facing incredibly different roads. Argentina won their group and drew a highly favorable matchup against tournament debutants Cape Verde. Meanwhile, France? They took care of business, won their group, and still got handed a nightmare scenario. They are projected to face a furious, highly talented German squad, who, despite their loss to Paraguay, are still a massive threat. And they have to do it in what's forecasted to be 93-degree heat in Philadelphia. Yikes.
And that brings us to this incredibly crucial point from the analysis over at The Ringer. The winner of the tournament may come down to which team has the most left in the tank for the semifinals and finals. Because the top teams, France, Argentina, Spain, England, are so evenly matched in true quality, rest literally becomes the ultimate competitive advantage. Argentina's easier path allows them to heavily manage the minutes of their 39-year-old megastar, Lionel Messi. He already has 6 goals in this tournament. If Argentina can grease through their early knockout games, while France fights a grueling war in that sweltering heat, Argentina easily becomes the smartest bet to make the final.
All right, Section 4, Dark Horses and Cinderellas, because everyone loves an underdog taking over. The World Cup isn't just about the giants, right? It's also about the underdogs playing with absolute house money. And there is no better Cinderella story this year than Cape Verde. We are talking about a small nation with 0 previous World Cup history. Yet they managed to draw all 3 of their group matches, including some incredible results against giants like Spain and Uruguay, to miraculously punch their ticket to the knockouts. They're the ultimate happy-to-be-here story, and their reward is a total fairy tale clash against defending world champion Argentina. The odds are astronomically against them, but for a nation this size, just reaching this stage is a historic victory.
This underdog energy also breeds some incredible breakout stars. You definitely want to keep your eyes glued to Ivory Coast, their super trendy dark horse pick right now, and specifically their 19-year-old sensation Yan Diomande. He has hands down been one of the absolute best players in this tournament, showcasing this terrifying dribbling ability that allows Ivory Coast to just completely slice open opposing defenses in transition. Word is he's heading to Paris Saint-Germain on a 5-year deal after the tournament, and his dynamic play makes Ivory Coast a terrifying matchup for anyone, including a potential run-in with Brazil.
Finally, Section 5, America's Golden Opportunity, a defining moment for the host nation.
We absolutely cannot discuss the 2026 World Cup without focusing on the host nation, staring down the barrel of a defining moment under manager Mauricio Pochettino. So the crucial point is this: the USMNT has built incredible momentum. By winning 2 group stage matches, they accomplished something the program hasn't done since 1930. That's almost a century. They are playing on home soil during prime time in front of an increasingly soccer-curious nation. A real bandwagon is building, and the sheer talent on this roster is arguably the best the U.S. has ever produced.
But to actually change American soccer forever, they have to navigate a really structured, totally daunting path. Assuming the highest-ranked teams went out, the U.S. faces Bosnia first. A win there likely sets up a massive narrative showdown against Belgium, a real chance for the U.S. to exact some major revenge for that heartbreaking 2014 World Cup knockout loss. If they somehow survive Belgium, they're looking at a quarterfinal against Spain in Los Angeles, followed by a potential semifinal against the tournament favorite France. It is a grueling gauntlet.
Which leaves us with this final, defining question. For the very first time, there are massive, genuine expectations on the USMNT. Will they capitalize on this once-in-a-generation opportunity on home soil to cement soccer's place in the American sports landscape? Or will the immense pressure of those expectations prove to be just a bit too much for this young squad? It's the ultimate storyline that's going to captivate the host nation for the rest of the bracket. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Now go enjoy the knockout rounds.